And this time, the vertex is not at the origin, meaning to say, it can be any point on the Cartesian plane. So every time you start the discussion, you have to expect that there would be a graded recitation. Can you can you see my screen?
Yes po, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes po.
Okay. I will just remove my video para masyadong kalas ng internet. Kaya nawawala. We have here the guide. Look at the screen. Can you see the pink table?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes po.
So, screenshot so that later on, if I'll show you an example of problem related to this, uh, you can check if what formulas we're going to use. So this is for parabola with vertex HK, meaning to say the vertex is not the origin, kahit saan doon sa Cartesian plane. For the second column, you must just focus on the second and third column. For the second column, for the quantity, y minus k squared is equal to 4p times the quantity of x minus h. This is where the graph is open to left and open to right. And you have the guide of the different formulas here sa lower part. Then, third column, for the formula, the quantity of x minus h squared is equal to 4p times the quantity of y minus k. Here is the guide for graph of a parabola when it is open upward or downward. So always remember for your clue that if y is raised to the second power, if the y, again, y is raised to the second power, then you have to expect that the graph is open right and or left. If x is raised to the second power, x squared, the variable x is raised to the second power, then the graph is open upward or downward. Then what's happening? Then if we are going to expand these two formulas, can you hear me now? Can you
Yes,
hear me
sir.
now?
Yes po.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So again, the two equations that I gave kanina are equation in standard form. But if you're going to manipulate this, expand, remove the grouping symbol, then that would become now equation of parabola in general form. So it is y squared plus dx plus ey plus f is equal to 0 if it is open to left or right. But if it is open upward or downward, then the formula or the equation of the parabola in general form is x squared plus dx plus ey plus f is equal to 0. So I hope may screenshot na lahat. Okay, example. Please be reminded that um, if the whiteboard is full, meaning to say napuno na you have to screenshot right away. So because later on ma-delete yung solution kasi hindi kaya sa isang whiteboard ang solution ng isang problem. So pag puno na siya, screenshot ka agad para may guide kayo diyan sa ano ninyo, sa pag mag-answer kayo ng inyong assignment. So please pay attention, and if you have some questions, feel free to ask after each example.
Write the equation of the parabola
Can you hear the voiceover?
Yes,
Yes
sir.
po.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
sige.
in general form that satisfies the given conditions. Draw the parabola, its focus, and directrix. The given conditions here are the vertex is at negative 2, 3, and focus is at negative 4, 3. So the first thing that we're going to do is draw a Cartesian plane and plot the points so that we can determine or somehow we can have an idea if the graph is open to right, left, upward, or downward. So we have the Cartesian plane. Plot now the vertex. Negative 2, 3. So negative 2, 3.
Okay. Ah, for what's this? For easier solution, my tip is can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Opo.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
okay. Okay, again, tip in solving problems, lalong-lalo na pag ang problem medyo mahirap, you have to, of course, you have to read the problem first, then write down what are given, what are asked, ano yung kailangan i-solve, then you have to draw the Cartesian first, Cartesian plane. Dapat meron na kayong Cartesian plane. Then after that, if there are points that you need to plot on the Cartesian, plot it right away because maybe by plotting, you can check or you can have clues of what would be the formation of our parabola. Is it moving or open to right, left, upward, or downward by just plotting the points. So nagkakaroon tayo ng clues. So better write what are given, what are asked, and draw the Cartesian plane. You have to draw the Cartesian plane correctly with correct intervals so that later on, if you are going to draw your parabola, it would be correct because there would be conditions that would satisfy that your graph is correct. For example, the alignment of the endpoints of the latus rectum plus the focus, yon dapat they should be collinear, lying, if you're going, meaning to say, when we say collinear, they should be lying on the same line. And to check that if you're going to connect the 3 points, you would form a straight line. So dapat correct ang inyong Cartesian plane. Another thing is, so that later on, since there is a condition that the distances from vertex to focus, and again, the distance from vertex to focus is equal to the distance from vertex to the directrix. So it would not be shown correctly in your graph if your interval is not correct. So yun. Graph should be Cartesian plane should be correctly done. Solution should be correctly and neatly done so that if I'm going to match your solution and your graph, dapat pareho. Hindi pwedeng hindi sila magkatugma. So it means something is wrong or meaning to say, mali ang nakopya natin sa ating classmate. And it could give a negative, ano ba yan? Negative idea na baka nagcopy lang tayo sa classmate. Okay, let's continue. Observe how are the given and what's this? How are the points and the formula are being compared for you to find what are or what is asked.
Then the focus is at negative 4, 3. As you notice, the focus is at the left of vertex. So therefore, if we're going to draw the parabola, the vertex should be inside the parabola. So therefore, we have now the idea that the parabola is open to left. So when the parabola is open to left, then it is understood that P is negative. P is negative. So later on, if we're going to solve for the P, the answer should be negative.
In this example, by just plotting the two given points, the vertex and the focus, we're able to find out that P is negative because of the position of the points. So hindi tayo nag-solve, nalaman natin na ang P is na ang P is negative because of the position of the points. And I hope you would be mindful of the small details of the discussion gaya nung uh, the focus should be inside the parabola and the directrix should be outside. So dapat matandaan natin 'yon para hindi tayo malito later on.
So for our guide, we're going to focus on the second column of the second table where the guide for the graph of parabola is open to left or open to right. If we're going to graph a parabola, we need only vertex, we need the focus, we need P in endpoints of directrix. So the vertex, this is H and this is K. Then for focus, second column of the graph, the guide is H plus P, then K. Meaning to say, in our vertex, H is negative 2, K is positive 3. For the focus, H plus P is negative 4, then K is 3. To find the value of our P, then we are going to use this part here. H plus P is compared to negative 4. So we can write here the equation. H plus P is equal to negative 4. The purpose of this is to find the value of P.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So wait lang tayo kay naghang ang ating PowerPoint. If there are, while waiting, if there are some questions, please ask now. You might ask, okay, di ba after plotting, P is negative and it is open to left. So meaning to say, open to left, we are going to look at the second column of our guide. So for the vertex, you have the formula HK. Then, mas magandang isulat siyang ganyan para mas madali siyang ma-compare. And for the formula for the focus, since it is given, negative 4 and 3, and the formula is h plus p, then k, then the
H
we can compare that h plus p is equal to negative 4 and k is equal to 3. Wait lang tayo while nag-load ang ating PowerPoint. What's happening? Lang ha. Just wait, class ha. Please wait. It's happening. Hoy, nagahang. Are you still with me, class?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can you still see my screen?
Yes
Yes
po.
po.
So, pasensyahan nyo na lang muna ha, kay naghahanghang na.
Kahit sino ma'am. Sa amin.
Reminders that graphing should be wala naman to. Your graph dapat nakalapis ha, para malinis. Solution should be clearly and neatly done. Okay. Let's continue.
P is equal to negative 4. We can now solve for P, transpose negative 2 to the right. So we'll have P is equal to negative 4 plus 2. Negative 4 plus 2, this is negative 2. So therefore, our P is negative. After that, we need to have the endpoints of latus rectum. For the guide of endpoints of latus rectum, we have H plus P, K plus minus 2P. So we have here 2 points. So first point, h is negative 2 plus p is negative 2. Then we have k, which is 3. The first point is plus 2 times p, which is negative 2. Then the second point is negative 2 plus negative 2. Then 3. This time we'll have minus 2 times negative 2. Simplify. Negative 2 positive times negative. This is negative 2. Then 3. 2 positive 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. Then negative 2 positive times negative is negative 2. Then 3 negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. Simplify. Negative 2 minus 2, this is negative 4. 3 minus 4 is negative 1. Then the second point, negative 2 minus 2, this is negative 4. 3 plus 4 is 7. So we have here the endpoints of latus rectum. Plot the points, negative 4, negative 1. So negative 4, negative 1. Then negative 4, 7. So we have the vertex, the focus, endpoints of latus rectum. We can now draw the graph. So this is the latus rectum. So this time we'll now draw the directrix. So the equation of the directrix, equation of directrix. Our guide is x is equal to h minus p. So we will just substitute. H is negative 2 minus negative p, which is negative 2. So we will have x is equal to negative 2. Negative times negative is positive. So we will have negative x is equal to negative 2 plus 2. Then this is 0. Meaning, the equation of the directrix is x is equal to 0. So if we're going to plot this, x is at 0, and dito siya banda. Then we will just draw a vertical line. Here, the directrix is the y-axis. It's not always the y-axis is the directrix. Nagkataon lang to. So, again, we have the parabola, the vertex, the focus, endpoints of latus rectum. We have here the latus rectum and the directrix. You can check if your directrix is correct if the distance from the vertex to the focus is equal to the distance from the vertex to the directrix. So take note of the solution. Always remember, if we're going to graph a parabola, we need the vertex, the focus, the P, endpoints of latus rectum, directrix. And do not forget that the distance of vertex to the focus is equal to the distance of vertex to the directrix.
Question. Are you still with me?
Yes, sir.
Sir. Yes.
Question so far?
None, sir.
Okay. We're done. So, screenshot. We're not yet done with the solution. We are still at the plotting of the parabola and solving what are asked. We are not yet at the writing the equation because the problem says that write the equation of the parabola in general form. So pag wala ng tanong, let's proceed. Reminder sa dapat ang graph lapis. Okay, this is the continuation. We are now at the writing the equation of the parabola in general form.
So we're done with the graphing. Then this time we're going to solve for the equation in general form. So in solving for the equation, we need the vertex. So our vertex is negative 2, 3. So this is the H and this is the K. Then, we also have the value of P. Nasolve na natin kanina. P is equal to negative 2. Since the graph is open to the left, then the equation is y minus k squared is equal to 4p times x minus h. Then we
Okay. Question, why is it that the formula used is the quantity of y minus k squared is equal to 4p times the quantity of x minus h? Anybody?
Sir.
Yes, sino yan?
Abdullah po, sir.
Abdullah.
Because
Why?
po it is open to the left po.
Open to the left. So therefore, what is your clue? Ano yung clue natin dyan?
Yung y squared po.
Okay, the y squared. If we're going to expand the quantity of y minus k, we'll have y squared. So that is, and how about the open to left? Bakit siya open to left? What is your clue?
Because
Be-
negative po yung p.
okay, very good, because p is negative. Now, why is it that we did not use the y square? Oh, tapos na si Abdullah. Okay, record ko muna ang recitation ni Abdullah. Now, the question is, Abdullah, Doy, Abdullah Bal, meron ka namang recitation dito for this, ano? So, hindi ko yun siya ma-record ha. Okay lang
Sige
sa'yo?
po, sir.
Okay, kasi meron ka nandito for this, second set of recitations. So, the question was, why is it that we did not use here the y square is equal to 4px? Bakit hindi siya ginamit?
Because the vertex is not at the origin po.
Very good. Sino yon?
Acid, sir.
Acid. I'll check if acid. Okay. Acid. Very good. So, because the vertex is not the origin, so therefore we'll use this formula. Then let's continue.
we will substitute. So y minus k is 3 squared. 4p is negative 2. Then x, h is negative 2. Then simplify. Y minus 3 squared, you can use here FOIL or the square of a binomial. So we'll have y squared minus 6y plus 9. 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. Then x negative times negative 2 is positive 2. Then y squared minus 6y plus 9, distribute negative 8. So negative 8 times x is negative 8x. Negative 8 times positive 2 is negative 16. We're going to write all the terms on the left side of our equation and equate this to 0. So this is y squared plus 8x minus 6y plus 9 transpose negative 16. So plus 16 is equal to 0. Combine like terms. So y squared y squared plus 8x minus 6y, 9 plus 16, so plus 25 is equal to 0. This is the equation of the parabola in general form. In 1 minute, copy the solution.
Question so far. Question.
None.
Okay, screenshot. Okay. So we're done with the first example when the vertex is at HK. And as you notice in our solution, you solve first or the given, identify the given, identify what is or what are asked, then draw the Cartesian plane correctly, plot the points, get clues out from the plotted points, then use the clues. And remember, in choosing the column in your guide, you have to check the exponents of x and y. If y squared, then use the second column. If x squared, use the third column. And after that, if you're asked to write the equation in general form, then you have to solve or find the equation in general form. Now, for next meeting, I am going to teach you how to graph the parabola by just counting. Meaning to say, no need for us to solve or to have this lengthy solution. Wala tayong mahabang solution. We will just use counting. But in your assignment, use or write the long solution. Hindi pwede yung counting lang. The purpose of that is when later on, if we'll be having the face-to-face and maybe I'll be giving you board work, and you would not be allowed to bring your formula, then you can use the technique, the counting method. So that would be for our next meeting. Since the lesson was not discussed for this week, hindi siya natapos. So we'll have the continuation next week and expect that the submission of your assignment would be extended to, and please study in advance the how are you going to write the identify the vertex, identify the focus, identifying the directrix given the equation in general form. Magiging pabaliktad yung ating solution next time. Kasi for now, from points papunta sa graphing, then papunta sa equation in general form. But next meeting, it's from general form, then pabalik doon sa point. So please, magbasa-basa because next time, I'll be calling names again before we're having our discussion to ask questions about what we've discussed this afternoon. Okay? Ako ba ay naintindihan?
Yes
Are you
Opo,
po.
still with
sir.
Sige.
Yes, sir.
Turn on your cam. Volunteer for screenshot. Sino ang mag-volunteer?